Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of tech news, gadget views, and answers that you can use. Someone sent me an iPad! Incredimail! Yeah, you heard me right. Incredimail sent me an entirely new iPad just so I would take a look at their application. It worked! Mind you, I don't need another iPad. I might just give this one away to a Vlogger Fair attendee. You might remember installing the Incredimail software or receiving emails sent by Incredimail, and I gotta tell you, the experience has been cleaned up a lot. Connect to your iCloud, Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, or other email account, and pull in messages in such a way that I haven't seen anything like this ever. Here I have my Yahoo account loaded, and as I swipe through the screens, you can see each one of these widgets is actually a separate email message, which I can scroll independent of one another, or if I tap it, I can go full screen. And look at that, full HTML mail rendered just fine. I'll go back, and I can keep swiping through. Oh, and by the way, it'll actually pull in thumbnail previews of URLs linked in emails. So instead of having to click the link or tap the link from your iPad, you can see a preview within the mail message itself. It's pretty Incredimail to me, and it's free. Give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. Although one of you will gain that very iPad, because believe you me, I don't need another one. Gene Vallon asks, is it okay to keep my Nexus 10 display on all day? Yeah, that's kind of what these tablet computers are there for. You don't have to power them off just to save battery. They're designed to last a little longer than some of the computers you may have been used to. It's hardware. Eventually it's going to run down. But for the most part, at least as far as you're probably going to be using the Nexus 10, I don't think it's really going to hurt anything to keep it going. The one thing you might have to be careful about is heat, and then of course the next thing might be burn-in if you're only looking at one thing. And if you're only looking at one thing, then I'd ask, why are you keeping your Nexus 10 on? You could always dim the display when you're not using it. That'll save battery life, and it'll still be ready for you to use when you're ready to pick it up again. We still have the Name Your Own Price Indie Gamer Bundle available at deals.lockergnome.com with over 3,000 sold at this point. Terry Hannett is currently our top donator, and by the way, you can choose your own charity from the 3 choices we have available on the site, and get 6 great games for a very low price. If you're not a game player, but you're looking for a good photo editor, you can turn your photos into masterpieces with a 51% discount on Cyberlink's Photo Director. That one, too, is also available for both OS X and Windows. I love the idea of going cross-platform. It's getting easier by the day. Dropbox has acquired the email app Mailbox, which I know many of you have been asking if I've used, and the answer is no, I haven't used. I actually connect to an Exchange server for my primary email, chris@pirillo.com. I don't use Gmail all that often unless, of course, it's in conjunction with my Google Plus account, in which case I use it all the time. But I think this is a big deal. Dropbox acquiring Mailbox? That's quite a hellish combo. How many people are in the queue for that thing anyway? You know, a queue? A line? Not like Q from The Next Generation. Star Trek? Sorry. Samsung reports that Galaxy's S4 improvements will come to the Galaxy S3, in which case I would ask, why would anybody buy an S4 if they already have an S3 and they could wait for the software update? I talked about the Samsung Galaxy S4 yesterday and today on Neil Cavuto's program on Fox Business. It was kind of fun. We talked about general trends, and I think that growing incrementally, the Samsung Galaxy brand, to me, with them highlighting more of the Samsung software features on the Galaxy S4, that would lead anybody, if they just thought about it, to the conclusion that maybe Samsung's not all that hot on Android. That's not a conspiracy theory either, because it's already been reported that Samsung's going to be releasing a high-end smartphone on Tizen in August. That's right, Tizen. Not Android, and certainly not Windows Phone, or Ubuntu. Samsung doesn't need Android, it was just convenient. Why would they want to bolster Google and potentially lose more money? They're going to want to make more money, so the more Samsung controls, the more money they make, the more they're like Apple. Oh, I know, people are freaking out, Samsung's not like Apple, but you know what? They probably kind of want to be. My wine of the day is, why did it take so long for someone to do a class action suit against Apple for not allowing the user to choose whether they were going to get a Samsung display or an LG display in the Retina Display MacBook Pro? I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but yes, there has been a class action suit filed against Apple for that very thing. And yes, That, technically speaking, wasn't a wine, it was a beer. Quite a few people were actually hit with this problem, and Apple hasn't really said much about it. Could be that they're constrained in supply, or it could be that they just don't want to have a black eye. Or didn't want to have a black eye, because I can't imagine that they're going to escape this. If your Retina MacBook Pro has had display issues, it might be because it's from LG. I mean, the display itself, not the entire MacBook. The Apple Store should be able to replace it for you. Of course, they won't be able to tell whether the display that they're replacing is going to be replaced with an LG or a Samsung display. Either way, it shouldn't cost you a thing, and it might cost Apple a lot. So, if you know of someone with a Retina display MacBook Pro, you might want to let them know about this. Of course, if they're like me and they never saw a problem, I really wouldn't bother with it. Formspring, the pioneering Ask Me Anything anonymous Q&A platform, is shutting down. Well, there's another service I didn't sign up for and won't miss. If you have a question for me, all you need to do is ask. Chris@Pirillo.com. That's how you can get a hold of me. And you could also submit it on LockerGnome.com, or I guess if I had the suggestion to make where you could get it seen by more people than just me, head over to LockerGnome.net. Wii U unit sales jump 40% and still disappoint. You know how many times I played the Wii? 4 times. Because now I can get the game that I wanted to play most on my iPad. Defend your castle! I have killed so many days of my life with this damn thing. Seriously, I think I developed carpal tunnel. And did you realize that the danger of flinging your iPad across the room and damaging your TV is next to nothing, as opposed to the Wii remote controller? I got a question for you. When was the last time you changed your wallpaper? I mean, on your device? Yesterday? Last week? Last month? Have you ever changed your wallpaper? I just see so many options to change your wallpaper, but I don't do it all that often. Seriously, in the average month, how many times do you change your wallpaper? That wasn't the question of the day. This is going to be sponsored by GoDaddy.com. And if you want to save money on your next purchase on GoDaddy, just email me first, Chris@Pirillo.com. I'll send you my latest list of coupons. How can I make a custom email address for free? Now, I'm assuming the question isn't like the alias that comes before the @ sign, but the actual .com or .net or .whatever that comes after the @ sign, in which case I would tell you, spend a little bit of money. Because the last thing you would want is to get latched onto a free service that would disappear because you're not paying anything. What do you think, they could just live on that model forever? Not always. I mean, think about all those great free services that have disappeared over time, and don't think that Google's not above destroying services if it's not really doing anything for them. Case in point, Google Reader. It's gone. Spend some money. Don't be afraid to do that. I know you may have a limited budget. That's okay. It's just that if you want your own email address, specifically a domain, you want to have some kind of agreement that you own it, not somebody else. And I doubt someone's going to give you a domain for free. It usually does not work that way. And if you thought it worked that way, it could be a scam. Or to put it to you another way, I hope to own Pirillo.com until I die. And then after I die, I hope to be able to pass it on to my kids. If I have kids. Not you, kids. I mean, like, from my loins. And if that doesn't happen, the domain may very well pass to my dogs. I love free stuff as much as the next geek. It's just that when it comes to your domain, and specifically your email address, which is not your identity, but it's certainly the way that people are probably going to want to get a hold of you, you want to own that. And in order to own it, you're just going to have to spend just a little bit of lolly. I'm trying to save you as much money as I possibly can, and hopefully you appreciate it enough to share this video with everybody that you know, friends or enemies, coworkers, possibly neighbors as well, maybe. Go.tagjag.com/nextdoor is where you can get your entire neighborhood signed up for a service that you can use to kind of come together and talk about things, post for sale stuff. I've got my network neighborhood. Wow, that's a flashback to the past. That being said, I could live without Nextdoor. It's just that I happen to like it. Go.tagjag.com/nextdoor. If you get your neighborhood to sign up, at least 10 neighbors, you'll get a $50 Starbucks gift card, and then for me making the referral to you by using that link, I'll get a $50 Starbucks gift card too. So hopefully you like that, and this. We'll see you later.